Deserts make up about a third of the Earth's surface. Looking at them, it seems that there is nothing but sand and a scorching sun. But in fact, these areas are full of mysterious and inexplicable phenomena. In this video, you will get acquainted with the most amazing and unique discoveries that have been hidden from our sight for a long time. Number 1. Our planet did not always look like what we are used to seeing on the globe. More than 175 million years ago, there was a supercontinent called Pangaea on Earth, which broke apart, separating Africa, South America, Australia, India, and Antarctica. All of this happened after intercontinental reef systems evolved in the Atlantic and Indian Oceans. Now, something similar is happening in East Africa, and Africa is gradually dividing into two parts. From northern Ethiopia to central Mozambique, a large fissure known as the East African Rift has formed. Cracks form as a result of the separation of two tectonic plates. The Rift Valley is expanding at a rate of several meters per year. Based on this data, scientists suggest that the separation of East Africa from the main continent will occur in 3 to 4 million years. Currently, the width of the fissure reaches 62 miles and the depth is 3,000 feet. As a result of what is happening in the Red Sea Rift Zone, a new oceanic crust is forming, and after the separation of East Africa, a new ocean should appear here. Number 2. In Australia, on the Finnis Plateau, 37 miles from the settlement of Murray, there is the largest geoglyph on our planet, called the Marree Man or the Stuart Giant. This image was discovered from the air by pilot Trevor Smith in June 1998. The gigantic geoglyph depicted a hunter holding a throwing stick. The height of the man drawn on the ground was more than 2 miles, and the total perimeter of the drawing exceeded 17 miles. Immediately after the discovery of the geoglyph, scientists began to study it. In his opinion, the drawing was created recently, presumably shortly before its discovery, using GPS and an excavator for 8 to 10 weeks. Due to the peculiarities of the soil, the lines gradually fade and even have to be restored so that the geoglyph does not disappear from the face of the Earth. Of course, everyone was interested in knowing who was the author of this gigantic image. The first suspicions fell on people from the Arabana tribe, but the appearance of the geoglyph caused discontent among the Aborigines, as they believed that someone had desecrated their lands in this way. Stakes were found in some places on the Stuart Giant, which were probably used for marking and helped the author of the drawing to create a masterpiece of impressive scale. And if it wasn't the Aborigines, he was probably an unknown artist who wanted to create a sensation. After all, the geoglyph was considered an image of an ancient civilization until it became apparent that the lines in the drawing were rapidly disappearing. However, it remains a mystery how, for more than 2 months, they remained unnoticed by indigenous residents. Number 3. During excavations in Egypt, archaeologists regularly discover interesting finds. One of them was a mysterious staircase located near the Great Pyramids in Giza. Scientists have long been trying to understand who built it and where it leads. The mysterious staircase is inside the wall, and its steps descend 100 feet underground, forming a narrow passage that leads to a dead end. No images or hieroglyphs were found on the walls inside the passage that could help archaeologists unravel the mystery of the corridor's purpose. A large stone block was found at the top of the trench, and it is very likely that the corridor was completely covered by such blocks in the past. At the bottom of the mysterious corridor, it was very humid, leading scientists to believe that this place was built by the Romans and used to cool amphorae. At the same time, the corridor was similar to the entrance to the underground tunnel system that the Egyptians built. Therefore, Egyptologists also suggest that the staircase could have served as a secret entrance to the temple of the god Serapis, which has not yet been discovered by archaeologists. At this time, excavations on the territory of the mysterious staircase continue, and perhaps it will become the key to making new discoveries related to the history of ancient Egypt. Number 4. Many tourists driving along the Pan-American Highway in Chile stop their cars to find out what rises among the sandy dunes of the Atacama Desert. A gigantic hand pointing to the sky suggests that a giant is buried deep in the hot sands. But of course there are no giants there. The enormous palm was erected in the desert in 1992. Its creator is the Chilean sculptor Mario Irarrázaval. The artwork is made of reinforced concrete and the height of the palm is 35 feet. The creator of the sculpture explained that he shows how vulnerable and defenseless a person is when he is left alone against the forces of nature. The Atacama Desert was chosen for this installation for a reason. This place is considered the hottest desert in the world and is even called Death Valley, since for many tens of miles, except for sand and sun, there is nothing here. Despite the harsh desert conditions, there are many tourists who want to touch this sculpture. Some of them try to leave a memory of themselves in the form of various inscriptions, which undoubtedly spoils the attraction. Fortunately, local authorities take care of the giant hand and periodically erase the autographs of irresponsible tourists. Number 5. There is an amazing place in Namibia, a real ghost town where life once thrived. In 1908, a railroad worker named Zacharias Luala accidentally found a diamond. He handed over his discovery to the chief of roads, August Storch, who in turn shared it with the mining engineer Zonka Niemann. Storch and Niemann realized that many diamonds could be found in this area and bought the right to mine them, after which they announced their discovery. From that moment on, a real diamond fever began. That same year, not far from the place where precious minerals were mined, the city of Kolmanskop was founded, which quickly began to develop. A school, a hospital, bakeries, shops, and even a concert hall were built. Gradually, Kolmanskop became a model German city that had everything necessary for a comfortable life. By the beginning of World War I, at least 5 million carats of diamonds had been found near the city. In 1920, there were 344 white settlers and 800 local workers living there. However, diamond mining gradually declined, and in 1926 a rich new deposit of the precious mineral was found 170 miles from Kolmanskop, and the population of the once developed city began to decline. In 1956, the municipal institutions were closed and the city finally became a desert. By 1980, Kolmanskop was completely abandoned and buried in sand. However, the De Beers Company decided to restore the city and open a real open-air museum. Now all interested tourists can visit Kolmanskop. Number 6. The Sahara, one of the largest and hottest deserts in the world, is known for its extremely arid conditions. However, in January 2021, an unusual weather event occurred in this vast desert region, near the city of Ain Sefra in Algeria. For the first time in many years, the desert was covered in snow, a surprising phenomenon given the environment normally inhospitable to solid precipitation. The sand dunes, usually a warm golden sea, were transformed by a layer of snow and a thin layer of ice that formed when nighttime temperatures dropped to -2 degrees Celsius. This drop was notably low compared to the usual January average, which is about 14 degrees Celsius. This phenomenon is not completely unprecedented. The Sahara has actually experienced snow events on other occasions, such as in 1979, 2016, and 2018. These events highlight the climate variability in the region, despite its reputation as one of the driest places on the planet. Over the past hundreds of years, the Sahara has gone through numerous climatic changes. Although the region is known for its extreme dryness today, scientists have proposed that, over a period of approximately 15,000 years, the desert could undergo a significant transformation and become covered in green vegetation. This prediction suggests a future in which the Sahara could go from being an arid desert to a region with a much greener and more diverse ecosystem. Number 7. Did you know that there is an extremely hot and unique place on Earth called the Danakil Depression? It is located in the desert of the same name in Ethiopia. The region has amazing landscapes, with salt deposits, sulfur geysers, and a lava lake in a volcano. It is recognized as the hottest and lowest place in the world, located 125 meters below sea level. Although conditions are difficult, scientists have made important discoveries here, such as remains of Australopithecus afarensis that are more than 3 million years old. It has also been found that microorganisms live in the hot water that comes out of the rocks despite the harsh conditions. Although Danakil looks like a hellish place, it is popular with tourists, and around the depression there are settlements where people live. Number 8. Thanks to satellite images, scientists made a surprising discovery in the Sahara Desert in Libya. More than 100 fortified castle-like structures were found, dating back approximately 2,000 years. These constructions are the work of the ancient Garamanti civilization, about which little is known. This find is valuable for historians and archaeologists. During the exploration of the ruins, experts from the University of Leicester found structures up to 4 meters high, remains of local houses, funerary pyramids, and irrigation systems. This discovery challenges ancient Roman chronicles that describe the Garamantes as wild nomads, as the ruins suggest that they were a sedentary and advanced civilization that was able to adapt to life in a desert region with incredible droughts. Number 9. Walking around Australia, you would hardly want to encounter a creature so huge that kangaroos seem harmless in comparison. Throughout most of the Pleistocene period, which spanned from 1.6 million to 40,000 years ago, one could encounter a terrifying and enormously large creature in Australia known as the Diprotodon. This quadruped had a short body, tail, and thick limbs that resembled trunks. The ancient marsupial was 2 meters tall and weighed more than 2.5 tons. It's hard to believe that a marsupial could weigh more than the average car, but previous findings suggest that Australia was once a land inhabited by strange and unique animals, including diprotodons. This ancient marsupial, 200 times larger than its modern relatives such as wombats and koalas, could have caused ecological problems due to its large appetite for leaves and shrubs. Although they were thought to be harmless, they lived in groups near water, avoiding hills because of their limited mobility. Although they were large, they were believed to be shy and avoided predators. Aboriginal people lived peacefully with them, but the species is now extinct, leaving only bones. Whether they hunted or preyed on humans remains a mystery. It is hoped that scientists will be able to answer these questions in the future. Number 10. In the remote areas of Western Australia, in the middle of arid lands, lies the site of the oldest meteorite impact, the Yarrabubba crater. Geological studies have established that this formation arose just over 2.2 billion years ago, possibly ending a global glacial period. Currently, it is the oldest discovery on Earth found by scientists. To obtain more precise results on the age of Yarrabubba crater, scientists used regional mineral samples, especially zircon and monazite, which contain uranium with a known decay rate. Despite sounding simple, the process involved advanced scans with modern equipment. The crater, which used to be 70 kilometers in diameter, is now gradually shrinking, currently being a small red hill called Barang Hill. Although it may disappear over time, the value of the discovery persists, since the meteorite impact caused significant climate changes that influenced the subsequent development of the Earth and its life. Without this event, the Earth could have remained in a frozen state without experiencing global warming. Number 11. The thorny dragon, demon or Moloch. All these are names of a small lizard belonging to the Agamida family that lives in the sandy deserts of Western and Central Australia. The thorny dragon might be one of the most whimsical and interesting creatures on the continent. The spiny dragon, covered in thorns, survives in difficult conditions by constantly searching for food and water. It collects rainwater and dew, bringing it directly to your mouth from your skin. Its unique appearance, harmless nature, and slowness make it charming and unusual, arousing admiration and curiosity. The spines on its head have bones, and its golden-brown coloration helps in camouflage. Their neck, with a pillow-like growth, facilitates the collection and transportation of water. The thorny dragon, specialized in hunting ants, poses no threat to humans. Number 12. Lizard is one of the first words that comes to mind when thinking about Australia. Locals find them almost every day, but not everyone manages to make a unique discovery. A rare species of lizard-like amphibian was discovered last year. Experts believe the identified creature inhabited Australia approximately 247 million years ago. In 1997, retired farmer Michael Maddis found the fossilized remains of an amphibian while repairing a garden wall in New South Wales. After discovering the fossil, he contacted the Australian Museum in Sydney and transferred the find. Experts, led by paleontologist Lanken Hart, studied the remains for more than 25 years to discover the truth behind the fossil. Fortunately, another well-preserved skeleton was found, allowing researchers to solve the mystery. Hart and other paleontologists suggest that the amphibian was about 1.5 meters long and resembled the Chinese giant salamander in head structure. This creature, called Aratun supinatus, was significantly larger than its modern descendants, as indicated by its ribs and soft tissues. This predatory amphibian is believed to have lived in freshwater lakes and streams in Sydney and belongs to the Tinospondyle family, known for surviving mass extinction events on Earth. This discovery is a valuable addition to Australia's paleontological chronicle, as only 3 fossils of the hardy amphibian family had been identified in the region previously. Number 13. In 2018, filmmakers Leon Deschamps and Shane Thompson were looking for material for a documentary about the French exploration of Australia. They used metal detectors in Shark Bay, Western Australia, and found a rare Ming Dynasty Buddha, specifically a small baby Buddha statue. This surprising revelation sparked controversy. Some thought it was fake, while others wondered how a statue from the Ming Dynasty ended up in Australia. Experts determined its authenticity after some time, but the mystery of its origin persisted. The statue, 15 centimeters high and 1 kilogram of bronze, supposedly from hundreds of years ago in China, sparked speculation about its presence in Australia. It is believed to have been carried by Ming Dynasty explorers during the period between 1368 and 1644 AD, and was buried about 150 years before its discovery. However, there are skeptical opinions. Although ships undertook expeditions in Southeast Asia, there is no evidence that they reached Australia before European explorers in the 17th century. Theories differ. Some believe the statue was abandoned by Chinese pearlers or fishermen in the 1870s as part of a hoax. Uncertainty about the true origin of the Buddha could only be resolved by excavating the site. Number 14. This find is about Pharaoh Akhenaten, an ancient and famous ruler. Akhenaten is known for his peculiar appearance that resembles that of a woman, which is unusual for a male leader. He was the father of Tutankhamun and husband of Nefertiti, a controversial queen. His medallion is the most discussed. It shows some sort of real ship or disc resembling a flying saucer, with an alien-like head on top. This has led to debates about whether aliens were related to ancient Egypt. However, the medallion only exists in photos, and we cannot be sure what it really meant to the Egyptians.